What's going on, everybody? Welcome into another episode of Profit Picks. If you are new, we always start this show by being transparent. And yesterday was a good day for your boy. 3-0, Rob Veno. I wish I bet a little bit. I wish I bet one more play at least, which was Sky Team Total over because that was the easier one, I feel like. But Sky plus 5.5, easy cash as well. Fever first half plus 125, the best bet for the show was a winner. I'm not gonna say it was easy, but it was a winner. And then Fever plus 130, that was my best bet, my $5 play. So a nice 3-0 day for myself yesterday, Rob Vino. How are you doing today? How was everything for you yesterday?
I am good. I'm good today, Skee. I had a 2-2 split yesterday. I think everybody heard what we were talking about. And in fact, jokingly, yesterday I had said maybe we can put together a little first half parlay because I had Indiana team total over. You had Indiana first half. Both clicked. They did get over 41.5. That was a winner. The LA Chicago game over. I think we agreed on that too. I just had full game over. It was very easy from the get-go. There was nothing but scoring and pace in that game. That was my $5 play. The bad was the Dallas Atlanta total was, that total was ridiculously bad. That's maybe the worst play I've had in a long, long time. Not sure what happened there. And then the Lynx team total first half did not get there. 22 first quarter, thought I was good. Second quarter dry, no good. So 2-2 split, not a problem. We'll take it. Still up 98.1 units since the 17th of March. So a good little 3-month run here going on in all sports.
Yeah, let's keep it going. Let's get back to it. Before we do, we want to learn at least, right? Why we didn't do so well. I didn't do my due diligence yesterday. Maybe it was a part because the database was down and it was throwing me off a little bit. But both of those teams, it was the Wings and the Mystics were both coming off an overtime game. Maybe that has something to do with the total. I don't necessarily look at. I don't know. I think it could have affected it. But do you know off the top of your head if the Mystics and Lynx game went under? I think it did.
It did stayed way under, yeah.
So both of the teams that went to overtime the next game were dead unders. So maybe that could have something to do with it, Rob. Any thoughts or no? You agree?
Yeah, no. It obviously could have something to do with it. I think I sat here all day long yesterday and praised Atlanta's shooting and their offense. And they had 4 quarters where I think their highest scoring quarter, what was it? Like 15 was their highest scoring quarter. So it was a bad shooting day for Atlanta in that Dallas game too. But overtime can affect some things for sure. And I'll say this real quick, and then we'll get on to today because we don't like to rehash yesterday too much. But Dallas defensively, Skee, they're getting better. They're getting a little bit better the last 3 games. It's incremental, but I'm noticing it's better. And I might have to reassess a couple of things where that defense is concerned.
And I'll say one last thing before we move on too. Pay attention to Paige Beckers. If you're not already, you need to start. She's a big difference maker. She's an amazing player. She does everything. She's 3-level scorer. She plays defense. I'm a real big fan of Paige Beckers. So just wanted to give her some love before we start here today. All right. First game on the slate, we have Liberty and Valkyries. Opened up Liberty minus 8.5. See it as high as 10. Total went from 160 to about 162, I think is the highest I see here. As far as who's available, we have Sabrina. Game time, truly questionable. Still no Febich. And Jonquil Jones also going to be out for a while. So could be without a few starters once again for this Liberty team. For the Valkyrie, I feel like their injury list is always long because they have players. The same people: Xander Latini, Van Loo, Saluan, etc., etc. The same people who've been out. The same 5 out, and then Carla's game time decision. Vino, one thing about Golden State, it was some point in the season where they had like a team meeting and they just completely turned things around. it's hard to not look at them getting this many points. I mean, they play hard, they're competitive, they're at home. Is there any reason to take the liberty here in this game, or how are you looking at it?
I'm counting this out. Hang on, because I know I posted this the other day, and I want to make a point about Golden State first half. Skee 8-2, 8-3, 10-3. 10-3 against the number first half Golden State, if you're looking for an angle on the way they're playing right now. It was another cover the other night against Connecticut when they were big favorites. Marina Mabry out, but Golden State scored 59 points in the first half the other night, which was kind of crazy, and covered another first half. I think I read a further update that says Sabrina went through practice and probably will play tonight. Looks likely that she'll play, which would boost it for New York a little bit. They played the other night without Jonquel Jones, without Phoebish, and without Sabrina, 3/5 of their starting lineup. And they still actually got to 79 points in that game against Seattle, which was somewhat surprising. I thought Seattle was an easy play that night. But New York's ability to score is pretty good. And in this game against Golden State, which it's a funny team, Skee, they're kind of like a zigzag team where pace is concerned. They had slowed the pace down with so many players away at Eurobasket. And then the last two games, all of a sudden, they're back to getting a lot of field goal attempts and scoring a lot of points. So New York will play pace. I think if Golden State gets caught up in that pace, we could get to a higher scoring game. I think what I like most of all, Sabrina Ionescu's coming off a 3 of 16 game prior to sitting out the last game. Might have had something to do with the injury. She comes back. I think they're good for more than 85.5 points in this game. Simply because, generally speaking, they get there consistently. We've gone over and over again how good they are offensively. And to get to 79, in my mind, to get to 79 points without her, without Jonquel Jones, without Phoebish against Seattle the other night, I think is an indicator that against Golden State, there could be a lot of runouts here because New York likes to fast break. Golden State likes to shoot threes and miss them. And so we could see a lot of fast break points here out of New York. So for me, haven't played it yet, but I think the way I lean the most is two ways, I guess. Golden State first half, I think you can't ignore. I pointed out the numbers. And then I think New York full game team total over 85.5 is worth a shot as well.
Man, I can't decide. For one, I don't have I don't have my database again. So a lot of the usual ways I do things, I just don't have it today. And honestly, I like the second game more than this game. But what I'll say is, or what I want to ask is, like, the Liberty are not healthy. Like, they haven't been playing the best basketball. I don't have the numbers in front of me, but I know they haven't. Like, are we still are they just saying they have to bounce back eventually? Like, I feel like you still have to pay a premium for the Liberty. Like, this feels like a premium. They're not healthy. You know what I'm saying? Do you feel that way?
Yeah, and it's becoming higher because I think Ionescu's going to play. That's why the line's been on the rise the last 60 minutes or so. So it's even more of a premium, which is sidewise. Like I say, I couldn't play New York laying that number of points simply for a couple of reasons, Skee. A, I know Golden State's going to give you 40 minutes of at least effort. May not make shots, and that's the trouble you run into with Golden State all the time. It's still the worst three-point shooting team in the league. They still insist on shooting a bunch of threes. That's their style. That's how they're going to play. But I do think that even if New York doesn't cover, that they'll get to 86 here, and Golden State may be right on their tail. They may not. It is a premium for New York, who hasn't looked the same for a little bit now. They're a different team when Jonquel Jones isn't available, as far as overall is concerned. Because if you look at their overall defensive numbers, you say, wow, this is a great defensive team. They haven't been great defensively last couple. And I think that's where the weakness lies when Jonquel Jones isn't in the game.
I'm in agreement. So it's a one-way ticket for myself. Casey said just like the dream yesterday, as far as when I was saying, I think I said it yesterday, paying a premium I felt like for them right now. It's no way that I could lay here with the Liberty. So Valkyries will be my lean. Maybe I'll get there at some point during the day, but just didn't feel as strong to get to the window. But it's the only way I would play it. Next game, Veno, one I do like a little bit more here. Sun and Aces. This opened up Aces minus 15 and a half, I believe. Yes. It is now as high as 19 and a half. Total open 160. Not much movement there. I will call a consensus still 160. Who's available? For the Aces, all the usual suspects. Same two are out. But for Connecticut, they'll be without their best player, really, Marina Mabry. And that's a huge, huge loss, Vino. The Aces have been getting beat up on lately, mostly probably because Asia has been out and they just haven't had enough or haven't been able to figure things out. But they did get back on track in their last game. Now they face a Sun team who, I mean, I think the Sun, we can call them the worst in the league right now. I mean, I don't know how motivated they'll be to win by 20, but they absolutely can. The one thing I'll say is they play tomorrow, Rob Veno, versus the Mystics. And I think every win is important for the Aces right now. But 19, I mean, they did win versus team by 25 last time. It's very possible. But only way I'm playing is plus 19 and a half. Are you looking at the side or are you looking at the total?
I used the same path of logic as you, Skee, but it got me to Las Vegas team total under. It's 89 and a half. They can win this game, but there's no reason to score 90 here today. I'm sure there's multiple situations here where Becky could cut minutes of the starters. A, because it's the front end of a back-to-back. Maybe the starters don't see their usual minutes. B, if in the second half they're up by 20, you can see a lot of reserve play. Game could slow down a little bit. So situationally, front end of a back-to-back, I don't know that they're going to go all out to score 90 points here. A couple of things that I found fundamentally with the Aces. The Aces, even though they have Asia Wilson, they're pretty dependent upon three-point scoring. Until I looked up the numbers, I wasn't really sure. They're number 4 in the WNBA, percentage of their points scored via the three-pointer. They score the 4th most in the league through the three-pointer. They're dead last. This is crazy. They're dead last in the league in 2-point percentage scored per game. In other words, they score less two-pointers than anybody in the league. And you have Asia Wilson. How are you not scoring more two-pointers? It's crazy to me. I know she sat out a couple of games, but to be 13th is ridiculous. They're pretty good at getting to the foul line. Their point distribution, 34.5% come from 3, 21.7 come from the free throw line, and only 43.2 or something come from 2 points. So 43.8. Connecticut is so vulnerable inside. I'm thinking to myself, tonight, if you're Las Vegas, abandon the threes. They probably won't, but score by 2s. And if you're going to get to 90 scoring by 2s, it's even harder. Connecticut, for what it's worth, they're a bad defensive team, but a couple of things that they do that could limit Las Vegas here. They don't allow teams to shoot a lot of threes. They force you to shoot 2s. Or you could say this, you could say it's so easy to score at the rim against Tina Charles and nobody that teams don't try 3s against Connecticut. Maybe that's the way it'll go. But any form of what I'm saying here leads me to believe that there'll be less 3s shot by Las Vegas. If they don't shoot a humongous percentage, they'll have to score through 2s and free throws. And I just don't know that you can get to 90 that way. Vegas plays fast. Connecticut plays slow. Connecticut allows opponents the second least number of field goal attempts per game. You only get up 65 shots a game against Connecticut. As bad as they are defensively, they stop you from getting shots up. So less shots, less opportunity, less 3s, score slower. Connecticut's played 14 games. 10 times they allowed less than 90. 71% of the time, even though they're a bad team, they don't give up 90. So I think a lot of this fundamental, a lot of this situational. I know earlier in the year we were joking, Skee, about WNBA spot plays. Man, these things aren't working. But here's one where I'm kind of willing to hold my nose with the 19-point dog and say that, yeah, for a lot of reasons, they can probably keep Las Vegas under 90 points tonight. I did play it. That's the way I played it. Las Vegas team total under 89 and a half.
A lot of things said there, Vino, and I have opinions on some. But you did mention you thought the game would die out as it goes on. You kind of hinted at that, right?
It
That's
could,
kind of
yeah.
how I envision it too. I mean, if the Aces play again tomorrow, if they're up by a big amount, they're probably going to sit some of their better players so they can be rested for tomorrow. Um, so I think that's definitely something like if you like an over, you probably like it early. And I could see this game going either way. Either one, the Aces defense, the Aces defense hasn't been good. I know Asia back was supposed to help it, but Aces defense has not been good as a whole in general. The Sun defense is not very good either, and they can be taken advantage of. I think the first quarter is where we'll see like it'll just go downhill scoring wise after the first quarter. I'm looking at 41.5 over. Um, and to what you were saying about the Aces score most of their points from three, and they don't have a very good 2 point percentage. I think the reason for that is just spacing. I mean, you know about Pink shoes. you know, she doesn't do a whole lot out there offensively, and teams just pack the paint. And without Asia, especially lately, it's been just this. And we've talked about this too. The guard, and you know who the guard is, Chelsea Gray. Just want to dribble the whole clock. But with Asia back, it is a little bit different, a little bit better for them. So first quarter, 41.5 is very appealing to me. Um, Also, I think I just feel like 19.5 points is too much. So between those two, that's really what I'm looking at here. Anything else you have on that, Vino?
Just real quick, when you mentioned Chelsea Gray, I'll say this: the last, let's say, 3 games for Connecticut defensively, um, Sheldon has made a name for herself as a defensive point guard. Like she'll be up on Chelsea Gray tonight, and if she wants to dribble, the longer she milks the shot clock, the better for me. Trying to play the Aces under 90 points, I could say that, and I think there will be a little bit of defensive pressure on her tonight. So hopefully, I think we're both on the same track. We just took different plays using the same kind of theory here, but this is one of those true situational handicaps with some fundamentals thrown in. If you can't get a lot of shots up, it's hard to score 90. You have to make a really, really high percentage tonight if you're Las Vegas, in my mind, to get to 90. So we'll play it that way. And I did say under. People watching this show probably think they're watching the wrong show because I just used an underplay, but I do think Vegas will stay under 90 tonight.
And also, I think Connecticut will have some kind of pride. I mean, they just lost by what, like 25 almost to the Valkyries. I just think they'll show up and have a little bit of pride there. One thing you also mentioned that I forgot to say, you talked, or we already talked about a little bit, the 3 point percentage. The Aces in that last game, they scored, I think they scored 89. If not, they scored more than 89, and they shot less than 32% from the field. Thought that was pretty interesting. So that doesn't sound. It sounded like they might have fixed like some of the things that we were talking about. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, and the percentage, just to be clear for everybody out there, it's the percentage of their total points that are scored via the three. How many threes did they make, Skee, in that game? Do you have the box in front of you?
I'll pull it up. It's not hard. Yeah, just give me a second. Sorry.
I had that box too a second ago.
Yeah, see, if I had my regular stuff, for one screen is out, the database is down. We're breaking down over here. Got to get this stuff fixed up.
Yeah.
My screen, I just need to refresh though. But
sometime when we
Aces,
talk
there we
about
go.
like this.
3-pointers, they made 6 out of 20.
So they shot 20. They scored 18 points, which is low for them. 18 points out of 89 came from three, which is way low for them because generally speaking, like I say, they scored 34% of their points via the three. Connecticut doesn't let you shoot a lot of them. So if they only put 23s up again, it's hard to get to 90 if you're not going to make double-digit threes. And if you're not getting all those opportunities to shoot them up there, it's even more difficult. So we'll see. Maybe they do turn to Asia inside because it's easier tonight. But But I did want to be clear. It's not necessarily their 3-point percentage shooting it. It's what percentage of their total points do they score from three? And it's a high number. Vegas is dependent on it.
All right, I'm gonna pull up something. Just messing around. Here we go. Think fill in. I don't know. Let's see. Just want to share a little bit here of what I'm thinking. This is just a general spot. Right. Aces on the front end of it, or not aces, double-digit favorites on the front end of a back-to-back over the past, I guess that makes it, 8 seasons? They are 3-8 ATS. They do win the game, but they have trouble covering that number, and it is also 6-4 to the over. And that says to fade the aces today. Also, just want to take a look here. That fourth quarter looks like it does dip in scoring the most out of all of them. That's what I was really looking at. And that makes sense with it being the front end of a back-to-back. And then there was one more here, Veno, but let me just get this queued up here because I don't. All right, I should have just been able to share it over, but here we go. I'll get it up there. You can see this one now?
Yep.
And this one is it is league-wide. It is pretty specific too, though. But you can tell me what you think about this trend. How about that, Veno?
Okay.
It is dating back to 2013. You're looking at they're either equally rested or they have a rest advantage. And it's home favorites of more than 13 coming off a game where they scored 89 or more points, but shot less than 32% from three, which is what the Aces did, what we talked about a little bit earlier. That is 0-9 ATS, 7-2 to the over. It's 9-0 straight up, though. Once again, they win the game. They just don't do enough, don't care maybe enough to cover the big margin. What do you think about this trend, Veno?
It kind of sounds like the reason why they don't cover but win the game, I can't see the scores exactly, but it's because maybe they just don't play enough defense. Maybe the dog scores enough to get themselves in the back door. Connecticut's team total, I think, tonight is 70.
Yes, that's what it says. It says the opponent's team total went over in every game.
Yeah, that's what it sounds like. You're winning, you're not covering, you're scoring, but the other team is still getting the money. So, if you're willing to take a shot with the Connecticut team total without Marina Mabry, I'm not exactly in that camp, but
No.
I can understand it. Let's put it that way. I can understand the logic.
I would much prefer just to take the 19 and a half points.
Yeah. Found a better way to make the money.
And once again, if we look at the averages, the points dip off in that fourth quarter versus the rest of the game. A lot of points here in this first quarter. So talked about different ways to play this game, share some trends, feeling a little bit generous here today. I don't know what I just did to the screen. There we go. So we've been on here for 23 minutes. Talked about two games. Very thorough. We will move it. Well, before we go to best bets, and this is my apologies today because I don't even have any graphics. So I know we have the I know we have the 4th of July special, which is pretty much like you get a week for $69 and you can use it as flex picks, or you can use it on one capper, however you like. And as always, Rob's profile, my profile is at the bottom of the screen. So Veno, I guess today would be a really good day to ask you if there's anything else you would like to promote. And if you have a best bet for the show, we would love it. If you don't, it's all good.
Yeah, there's today. I think tomorrow would be a stronger day as I look ahead at the card Skee. So today, not a lot to promote, but I will just echo what you said about the 4th of July special. It's a really good price, and you do get your choice: either one handicapper, all access to every play that they release, or the flex package means you can just use a different handicapper each day if you choose to do so. You can stick with one, or try to get different guys for over the course of 7 days. So That's our promotion here for the 4th of July special. But the best bet, I will actually, because I played this game, Skee, I will leave it as a best bet, and that is the Las Vegas team total under 89.5. No question in my mind. You've described it, displayed it. No question in my mind that they'll win the game. But I don't know that they're going to go all out in the front and the back-to-back. Situationally, this just tells me that things will slow down, point scoring will slow down, and maybe they win it with 85 or 86. It's good enough for me. So Las Vegas team total under 89.5.
I like it. And I mean, I might have two bets today. And you guys, if you listen, you probably could figure them out. For my best bet for the show, I am going to go with a future that I played. And I don't think it will be available much longer. I'm going with the Phoenix Mercury to win the WNBA championship. Best number I got was at Caesars plus 1,800. And I mean, I think personally, they're the third best team in the WNBA. I thought they were great on paper. Now we're finally seeing them a little bit healthier with Kalia Copper back in the lineup. Alyssa Thomas, of course, Satu's over there, et cetera, et cetera. They have a really good big three and a really good team. They also, I mean, I would say, my personal opinion, 90% chance they get Dewana Bonner, who was just waived by the Fever, and her preference is to go over there and play with the Mercury. So I think the addition of her takes them up an even higher notch. And they're playing good basketball right now. Like I said, they're healthy. I think they can compete with anybody. When I look at the rest of the WNBA, at least right now, the Aces don't look like a championship team. The Fever, they don't look like a championship team. The Liberty, they're so banged up, they may not even be playing in good rhythm and into the playoffs. They don't look like the team to beat to me. The Lynx are a threat. The Lynx are really good. So I think Phoenix can get there, and we can decide what to do with plus 1,800 when we get to that point. So that would be my best bet for the show. Veno, appreciate you always taking the time to break down these games with me. Definitely helps my process. I'm sure, we help the viewers out as well. And for everybody out there, whether it's Facebook, X, Spotify, YouTube, Apple, we appreciate all of you for watching, listening, and the comment section. We love you guys. You help make the show what it is, and you keep us laughing all day long. So appreciate all of you. We'll be back again tomorrow. Looks like we have another 2-game slate. So we'll catch you guys at 10:30 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, 1:30 Eastern.